Hello, so in this particular video, we are going to be looking at arithmetic series examples. So we are given a series and it goes up to 500 terms. So let's sort this out. So it goes to 500 terms. So we need to find the type because we have two possibilities. We can either have an arithmetic or a geometric, so we need to be sure. So we start by finding the difference. 17 minus 20, that will give us minus 3. 14 minus 17 will give us minus 3. So in this particular case, we have a first common difference, and that tells us we have an arithmetic series. So we are going to use this formula, which of course you can get from your formula sheet. And you need to use that formula sheet so that you write the correct formula down. So we want the sum of 500 terms because there are 500 terms in this series. So this is 500 over 2 all over 2 into 2 times the first term, which is 20. 500 minus 1 times our common difference, which is d. Now you can put this all at once in your calculator and you'll get the sum of 500 terms to be negative 364,250. Moving on to the second problem, we again have a series, but in this case we are not told how many terms we have. But what we can see is that we have a last term because after 302 we do not have a semicolon and these three dots. So that tells us this is a last term. So we need to find out the identity of this series. So minus 10 minus 14, that will give us 4. Minus 6 minus 10, that will give us 4. Again, we have an arithmetic series. So if you write down your sum formula Sn n over 2 2a plus n minus 1 times d, you will encounter a problem because you do not know how many terms you are adding, so you don't know the value of n. So in order to find the value of n, you use the general formula for an arithmetic sequence or series. So this term, the value of the term is 302. A is minus 14, the first term, and minus 1 times d. But we know d, so we can substitute d. D is 4. So this is 302 equals to minus 14. 4 times n, that gives you 4n. 4 times minus 1, that's minus 4. Now you need to transpose minus 14 and minus 4. So it's 302 plus 14 plus 4. They changed the sign as soon as they crossed the equal sign. So of course, this will give you 320 equals to 4n. And if you divide by 4 on both sides, that will give you 8. So that tells you that 302 is the 80th term. So this series has 80 terms. So now you can come back with confidence because you know that your series has 80 terms. So the first term is minus 14, 80. 3 minus 1, common difference is 4. And if you plug this into your calculator, you will get 11,520. Now let's look at the last problem. The last problem is interesting because it's a little bit different from the other problems. We start given the formula for the sum, this particular series that we do not know. So the question is, determine the first 3 terms. How can we determine the first 3 terms? Well, the formula that we were given is Sn equals to 2n squared plus 9n. Now you can use a simple but very useful formula. It says Tn is equal to Sn minus Sn minus 1. So for instance, if you're looking for the first term, which is what we are looking for, so that would be sum of 1 minus sum of 0. So sum of 1, so 2, and you substitute 1 plus 9 times 1 minus 2 times 0 squared plus 9 times 0. And if you plug this in your calculator, you are going to get that your first term will be 11. Because this part is 0, 1 squared is 1 times 2 is 2 plus 9, that's 11. Again, you can do the same for term 2. So that is sum of 2 minus sum of 1. So sum of 2 is going to be 2, and then we substitute 2 in our sum formula. So plus 9 times 2 minus the sum of 1, which was term 1, we have calculated to be 11. So if you do your calculations once more, you will find that your second term should be 15. And then for term 3, that would be sum of 3 minus sum of 2. So if you do this calculation, sum of 3 plus 9 times 3 minus sum of 2, we've calculated to be 50. So that will mean your third term is going to be 19. So therefore you can conclude that your series or sequence, whatever, but in this case, because it's a sum, it's a series. So the first term is 11 plus the second term 15 plus the third term 19 plus, and so on. If we check the second question, it says determine the 12th term using the same formula. So instead of finding term 1, term 2, or term 3, we are now looking at the 12th term. So T12, which is the 12th term, is going to be the sum of 12 minus the sum of 11. So 2 times 12 squared plus 9 times 12 minus, in the same formula, and it's wise to put in the brackets or parentheses to ensure that you do not miss this negative. So this would be 2 times 11 squared plus 9 times 11. And then you close. So your term 12 is going to be 55. you just put this in your calculator all at once. If you have a natural display calculator, and you'll be fine. You'll just get this 55. And then the last question says determine the 12th term using the nth term. Remember, what is the nth term? It's your formula. So Tn is equal to A plus n minus 1 times D. So we want to find the 12th term, T12. So if you are interested in finding that, what is the first term of this series? It's 11 plus n minus 1 times, okay, let's go back a bit because we need to sort out. We said we are looking for the 12th term times what is the common difference? The common difference is 4 in this series. And if you plug this in your calculator, you should get 55, which is the 55 we got as well for B. So that will be all.